Hi, everybody. Today we are talking about myths of journaling debunked. So this is the third part in my 5-part series about journaling that I'm doing here on Facebook Live, and I'm going to put on YouTube for all of you to watch. So if you haven't been able to follow us live, you can see them at laurenmariefleming.com/journaling. There you can find all of the videos. I have links to them, and you can enter to win a spot in my course, Journal Through It from oh shit to I've got this in 30 days, and also a one-on-one coaching session with me, a care package from me, a copy of my book, Body Love, 10 Steps to Profoundly Loving Your Body, and some teas, some delicious teas that are my own blend, and a journal from shop.laurenmariefleming.com. So you can enter to win over $700 in goodies, and that's at laurenmariefleming.com/journaling, and there you can also find all 5 of the videos in this video series. So let's talk about some journaling myths. So I feel like people, when I talk to them about journaling, they have all these like hesitations, these things that are keeping them from doing it. And the number one thing that I hear from people is that it's going to take time, that it's going to be this super time-consuming thing that they can do that it's so difficult for them to make time in their life for. And I have 2 answers to that. First, yes, it's true. Taking time out of your busy schedule when you have so much to do can be really difficult, and sometimes it's difficult to find time to write. I'm not gonna lie, that's not something I want to brush over and pretend that everybody can just wake up half an hour early and get their 3 pages in every morning. No, that's really hard and it's really difficult, and we are all so strained on time and have so many things to do, and I get it, your schedule is super busy. But here's the thing. Journaling doesn't have to take time. It can be, I like to keep a notebook by the side of my bed and I just scribble a thought down. I scribble a feeling down. I keep a notebook in my pocket, in my purse, let's be real. Like, I have small little pockets in my jeans. They make women's jeans pockets ridiculous. So I keep a purse and I have a little pocket journal that I keep in there. Sometimes I keep my bigger journal. Like, I have these journals that I sell on my site are small for a reason, so they're portable. I mean, this is like the size of my head, and that feels, but compared to like my other journal that's about work, that's not something I can carry around with me. But these small little journals are something I can keep it in my pocket, keep it in my purse, keep it with me when I travel, and I put them by the side of my bed. I put it in the bathroom. Actually, one of my favorite places to journal is to write when I get out of the bathroom. Out of the shower, in the bathroom. And I just kind of take some time to dry off, to air dry a little bit. And I write some of my thoughts for the day down there. Some of the things I want to do, some of the what my life is like at this moment, all this stuff. Hey, someone's live. I'm just saying hi. Actually, there are a lot of people live, but somebody just said hi. Hi. And one of the things that I find people are doing, and this kind of leads into that, is they're holding out for the perfect, most precious, most valuable and important journal ever. They're waiting for that leather-bound journal that just calls to them. And I get it. I'm a journal hoarder. I'm not gonna lie. I have on my table right now, there are 4 journals. That's not just because I'm doing this journaling workshop. They're always on my table. They're just closer right now because I'm doing this. But I have 4 journals. I have this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and my book is a journal that I have on my table over here because I keep my Body Love book around with me because I live in SoCal, and it's kind of a place where I need to journal about my feelings about my body a lot, unfortunately, which sucks, but I do. And I have this journal, which is all of my notes and everything from the book that I'm working on, the novel I'm working on. I have an art journal somewhere, so yeah, I get it. When you see a journal that you just love and have to have, you have to buy it. But you know what? This, my sister's old art history notebook that I took her notes out of and now I'm using the rest of the pages, works just as well. Journalings don't have to be fancy. Notebooks, anything you can write on. I've technically used a napkin as a journal and wrote everything I was feeling in lipstick once when I was waiting for a date and feeling self-conscious, and so I just wrote it all out. So your journaling doesn't have to be something that you make all of this time for. And it doesn't have to be the perfect journal or the idea of like this leather bound volume where it's going to be so like kept in archives at the Library of Congress. They can keep pieces of paper too. So that was the first thing, is just find time anywhere. And the second thing is I have a course. I actually have a free course that helps people create time in their life for writing. And so you can find the link to that at laurenmariefleming.com/journaling. And that is called Finding Your Right Space. And I tell people through, like, how do you actually create time in your life for writing? If this is something that matters to you, how can you create time? What are some ideas? What are some things that you can do? How can you do it? What are some tips for doing it on the bus? What are some tips for doing it in the bathroom? Like I was saying, when the shower's drying. So some of those tips, they're in my free course, so you can go there and sign up for the free course. And actually, when you enter the giveaway, it sends you a link to sign up for the free course, so you should enter the giveaway as well. So yeah, those are the 2 for time. And then we talked about number 2, holding out for the perfect journal and everything. And I just want you to think about this. It doesn't matter when you write. It doesn't matter what you write on. It matters that you write. It matters that you journal. It matters that you get it out of your head and onto paper. And I've talked all 3 of these workshops about how journaling has been transformational to me, because I have borderline personality disorder. I have a mental illness that makes my head go into these like spiraling thoughts. And the thing that helps me is writing that out, getting it out of my head, putting it on paper, and then I can do something with it. I can read it, I can take it to my therapist, I can burn it, I can let it go and it's gone. But the most important thing is getting it out of your head and onto paper. That is how I've created a career that I love. That's how I've created a life that I love. That's how I've managed my depression. It's made a huge difference in my ability to not lash out at the people around me. And so this is why I talk a lot about journaling. And this is why I tell people to like take that pressure off of yourself. And that's number 3. Take the pressure off of yourself to write every single day, to write something profound. Take the pressure off of yourself. All you need to do is just write. Just a simple thing, even if it's just 1 line. I talked yesterday in the workshop about how after my brother died, all I could write is the F word, is F-U-C-K, over and over and over and over again for probably about 2 months. And that's all I wrote. And that's all I could write. And so that's what I did. And there was no pressure. Well, at the time I had pressure on myself to write this really profound novel on my experiences of grief in my journal. But that was not realistic. That's not where I was at the time. That didn't work for me. And so all I could write was F-U-C-K, F-U-C-K, F-U-C-K. And that worked. That got that feeling of out of me. So don't put pressure on yourself to write every day. And here's number 4, try not to be Virginia Woolf. You're not. I feel I'm a writer. This is who I am. And so when I sit down to sit at my journal, sometimes I'm like, this has to be profound. So when people read it 20,000 years from now, they know how profound my thoughts were. No, I'm probably, let's be real, not going to be a Virginia Woolf where their diary is a best-selling novel that people read in literature classes. Like, yeah, that can be a dream of mine. That is a goal of mine, and that dream is fabulous, and I get it. And I will look up into the light and dream of the spotlight and the stardom that comes from being a writer. But the reality is, every writer that you read in that spotlight and that star, for everyone that you read, there are a million people just writing down their thoughts that aren't going to be read. And if you put your pressure on yourself, and this is why all of my classes, I don't teach about publishing. I don't teach about selling your book. I teach about writing your book. I don't teach about selling your things from journal or how to journal so you make $1 million. No. Like, yeah, we'll journal to your dream of $1 million. We'll talk about that. But the journal content, the writing content, you have to write to tell, not to sell. So and that includes like not financially selling. That includes selling your idea to somebody who you think might pick your book up. That means selling your idea to somebody who you want to then like show this to. Your journal has to be a place where you're telling your story, discovering your story and telling it. You're not trying to sell this. You're not trying to be profound and Virginia Woolf. You're just trying to get it out of your head. Then, with what you have out of your head, then you can go off and be profound. And you know what? Sometimes when I'm trying to write something profound and important and like noble, I suck. It sucks. It's horrible. It's so cliche. It's so overwrought. It's so everything that you would never want to read. But when I'm just telling my story, that's when people connect with me. That's when I connect with people. That's when I actually do end up saying something profound. So I want you to look at your journal and look at all of your writing to tell, not to sell. So try not to be Virginia Woolf. You don't have to be profound. That is a myth debunked. It doesn't have to be this thing that's super important and profound. It can just simply be a note on a piece of paper. One of the things I also try to tell people is the fifth. I think this is five myths to be debunked, and I think we're at the fifth, you guys. We're getting there. Sticking to just writing. I hear people be like, well, I'm an artist, I couldn't journal, or I'm not a writer, I can't journal. Well, journaling isn't just writing. Journaling is the daily doodles that you do, the notes on the side. In school, like in high school, when you write those little notes on the side, little did you know you were journaling. When you vent to your friend via text message, when you blog, these things are forms of journaling. So journaling doesn't have to be just writing in a notebook every morning for 3 pages about your life. And I'm referencing this every morning for 3 pages because writers, there's this book called The Artist's Way, and it suggests doing 3 morning pages a day, and a lot of writers hear that and subscribe by that, and I've done it, and it really, really helped me, but it really helped me for about 2 months. That was about all I could do, the 3 pages a day. From then on, I had to just be like notes here and notes there, whatever I feel like. So sticking to just writing, some days I don't feel like writing. Some days I don't feel like I have anything to say. And some things can't be said. Some things have to be seen. And so I like to doodle. I like to draw. Yesterday I shared an example of that, and I'm going to share it again today if I can find it. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So when I was trying to think about what prosperity meant to me, so I run my own business and I am a writer, and those 2 things sometimes are very difficult combined. Those 2 things are hard in general, but combined they're really hard. Running my own writing business, having these courses and everything, they can be draining, and sometimes people don't show up. And sometimes life is hard, and sometimes finances get big, and sometimes I get sick, and sometimes my car randomly after I get new tires runs over a nail and I have to get new tires again. Yeah, that happened. So after that happened, I was like really beating myself up over finances. And I asked myself, what does prosperity look like to me? Do I want to be a millionaire? And it's valid. Like, do I want to drive around in a Lamborghini and be the next Kim Kardashian? Do I want to, what do I want prosperity to look like? Like, what does it look like to me? Do I want to live in the middle of the woods? Like, is that prosperity to me? So I drew a picture. Because when I was trying to write it out, that didn't work for me. So prosperity is books. I want to have the access to prosperity that allows for me to have books. It's everybody getting around the dinner table together and community, and that food is food I grew myself. I really love to garden. And prosperity is a work-life balance. So it's not worth it for me to have $1 million if I'm working all day. It's not worth it for me. So that wasn't something I could write out. It was this idea that I closed my eyes and I was like, this is what prosperity looks like to me. And so I drew it. I drew it horribly. I am not a drawer. I'm a painter sometimes, but I am not an artist. But yeah, so your journaling can be that. It can be you writing, drawing out your ideas. It can be a doodle. Zentangle is really big right now. People are doing all that doodling for Zen, and all of that is journaling. Any time that you sit down and try to get out of your head into paper, it can be a meditation, it can be therapy, it can be your life coach, it can be your best friend, but what it can't be is something that you put pressure on yourself to do. It can't be something that has to be profound and huge, or you'll never do it. You will never sit down and actually do this. You'll never get to profound and huge and life-changing if you don't start with F-U-C-K, 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 or whatever your version of that is. But I couldn't get to actually talking about my brother's death without really getting out those little things, without doodling, without just picking up a piece of paper and going. So those are the 5 myths debunked. We kind of went all over the place, so I'm going to name them again right now. Number 1, one of the things that people do. One of the myths is that they have to hold out for the perfect journal or notebook. I'm going to do this instead because my thumb's over here. Hold out for the perfect notebook or journal. You can write on anything. You can write anywhere. Sometimes I journal on the bathroom mirror. I like write notes to myself. And actually my interview with Jenny Lee Dowling gave me that idea for the Body Love podcast. So if you want to hear about that, you can go listen to that. But yeah, write notes to myself on the bathroom mirror. That's a form of journaling. So you don't have to hold out for the perfect journal or notebook. You can use anything that you have around already. You can get a dollar store binder, or you can get one at my shop.laurenmariefleming.com, and you can win one in the giveaway. But whatever you decide to journal on, it doesn't have to be some like leather-bound behemoth that's like perfect and everything that you need it to be. Just find something to write on or to doodle on. 2, it doesn't matter what you write or what you write. Oops, that's wrong. I had it wrong. I'm sorry. 2 is putting pressure on yourself to write every day. You can't put pressure on yourself to write every day. Sometimes you're just going to have days where you don't write. I teach this class on journaling. I tell people how to write like regularly, and I don't write every day. Regularly important. I make sure that I take time out of every single week to write. But every day, that's just unreasonable for our lives. Maybe it's reasonable for your life, and that's amazing, but for some people, writing every day is just impossible. So try to write regularly, but don't put pressure on yourself to write every day. 3, trying to be Virginia Woolf. You don't have to be Virginia Woolf. It doesn't have to be profound. It can just be blah. And in fact, I actually think that blah journaling is the best kind of journaling that there's possible. And I'm just going to do that for a 3rd time blah, because I think it's fun to do. So yeah, just let it all out. Journaling is to tell, not to sell. And I think that's really important. And I honestly think all writing should be to tell, not to sell. It's very important to take that pressure off of profound change when you're writing something, and just allow yourself to tell the story. And journaling is a great place to tell your personal story. Sticking to just writing is number 4. You can doodle, you can do art, you can do whatever you want. Journaling is whatever is getting out of your head onto paper that works for you that day. And 5, waiting until there's more space or time in your life. You can do it on the bus. You can do it on I've journaled on buses so many times, it makes me sick, but I still do it. Your phone app is a great way to journal. A voice memo is a great way to journal, getting it out of your head onto paper, onto something else. So you don't have to wait until you have this like profound amount of time and you're in the mountains, in the woods, and on a writing retreat, and you're, walled in. You don't have to wait until then. You have to find time now, and you have to create that space. And if you want help creating that space, I have my course. It's free. It's called Finding Your Right Space, and you can find it at laurenmariefleming.com/journaling. And now that we've gone over the 5 myths, we can also talk again about the giveaway. So I'm giving away a spot in my course, Journal Through It from oh shit to I've got this in 30 days. And it's an exciting course. It's actually a little bit longer than 30 days. Enrollment officially starts June 14th. Class starts June 28th, but you can get a spot now, which includes a bunch of early bird bonuses, by entering my giveaway for free. And I'm giving over $700 worth of stuff away. So you should enter at laurenmariefleming.com/journaling. And you can also find all 5 of the videos in this 5-part mini workshop series that I'm doing there as well. And join us tomorrow live. I'm going to talk about how to use journaling to get through this volatile political climate and how it can help you handle politics and the news. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you to everybody who came live. That was great. We had a pretty good show up. And yeah, I will see you all later. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments below and I will answer them. And I'll see you later. Bye.